this being the middle of August, this is a very hot time to be riding a motorcycle. And just a reminder that if you have an older motorcycle that's only cooled by the air and oil, please make sure you don't overexert the engine, or it will overheat. I've had plenty of experiences like that. This stretch of US Highway 69 has been under construction for quite some time. And even though parts of it have been really well done, it's just torn up parts like this that puts me on edge. It's just keeping me more alert, just so I'm more aware of the surroundings and the nicks and rivets of the roads, and also watch out for changes in pavement. If it looks new, yeah, it looks nice, but with new pavement, there's always that risk of tar bleeding out, especially in the heat. And tar can make your tires very slippery, so please, if you are driving on roads that look like they have been repaired recently, tread with caution. No pun intended. As always, anytime you're in a construction zone, give yourself much more ample response time between you and the car in front of you. Because stopping distance is more than just stopping. You gotta see the perception of what's going on, then your eyes have to recognize it, and then your brain has to act upon it. And that little delay, the perception distance and the reaction distance, is added into the total braking distance. So yes, keep additional pavement between you and the hazards, especially when you see orange cones, or if you know you're in a construction zone, or if you know that the conditions are not the very best. One advantage I like about these interchange ramps that takes you from one freeway to another is that it can give you a bird's eye view of the highway that you are about to enter. And on this ramp from 69 to Interstate 10, I was able to get plenty of a bird's eye view of the traffic in front of me so I can plan my entry accordingly and enter safely. That's what you need to do every single time. When you go from one highway to another, if you have that advantage of the bird's eye view in the interchange, take advantage of it. And even if you don't see what's in front of you, slow down and look around the corners. Rock and roll if you have to. Rock and roll, as far as highway terms are concerned, is intentionally moving your body to the left and to the right to see if there are any hazards in front of you. I was fairly impressed with this being rush hour, how smooth traffic out of Beaumont and Interstate 10 is. You would expect sometimes that things to be jammed up and slow and go here and there, but not really. I'll be honest, I was pretty impressed with how smooth it's going. This is why I will always advocate for plenty of room between you and the vehicle in front of you, because you never know when a slowdown is going to happen. We're just outside of Vidor, and the slowdown occurs. Normally one would think that this was, like an unusual jam, or maybe a stalled vehicle or an accident. But at the point, I really had no idea what was slowing down. I knew there was not a really big exit between here and Vidor. And Vidor was still about 4 miles out. So this really perplexed me. Why was this slowing down? And even though I could not verify at all what caused this slowdown, when things were starting to clear out, I noticed that just in front of this van here was a vehicle on the shoulder. I cannot verify if that was the cause of a slowdown, neither could I verify anything else, but again, these unusual jams is why I will always advocate to make sure you have plenty of nose room between you and the person in front of you. Please be aware of your surroundings. Although just up ahead, I think I got another bit of evidence as to why this slowdown happened. The stalled van that I'm just now passing may have been good cause for the traffic to slow down and avoid that hazard. Even though it was on the left shoulder, it still wasn't 100% off of the line. So I think that's more enough reason to slow down, obviously to avoid the hazard. Although I am curious why it's still there, but that's way above my jurisdiction, way above my authority. So we all safely avoided the hazard, and we continue. Again, just a little reminder that if you are on the highway and can't handle the high speeds of the freeway, just scooch on over to the far right lane and let the others pass you and let them go on. It'll be safer for you, and it will be safer for everybody else on the highway. This was an interesting fact that I just learned a little while ago, and this surprised me. Did you know that a fully loaded semi-truck can stop a lot better and more effectively than when the truck is empty? The brake system for these commercial motor vehicles like big rigs and the like, they can stop a whole lot better when they are fully loaded, because that's the way they were designed for it. They were designed to handle the big loads. And did you also know that it's easier to stop an unloaded truck than a tractor with no trailer at all? Yeah, a bobtail tractor, that's what it's called. A bobtail tractor is a tractor that has no trailer or is not hauling anything. A bobtail tractor is actually the hardest to stop. I mean, I was really surprised. So if you think it's easier for just a tractor to stop, think again. The brakes were not designed that way. Either way, please give the big rigs all the respect in the world, since they are hauling anywhere between 20,000 and 80,000 pounds worth of goods across our nation. Give them the room and give them the respect. another reminder that it is never ever good to stay stationary next to a vehicle, especially when it's a big rig, because if there's any gust of wind that could knock the semi-truck off of the line, it could be very dangerous for you and very dangerous for them. So if you're going to pass a big rig or anything that's hauling a big load like what you see on the left now, please proceed cautiously and with care. Give yourself plenty of room between you and the CMVs. The only reason I was staying in the far right lane for this ride is because the heat index was over 105, close to 108, and I did not want to overheat my air and oil-cooled engine. So staying on the right lane on an interstate highway for those that do not want to overheat their engines is always the safest option. As I said, the heat index was well over 105 on this day, and I was feeling plenty thirsty. So, I had to make sure I kept myself hydrated. And that goes the same for anybody. If you're going to be outside for any kind of activity, make sure you keep yourself well hydrated. Of course, for your health and safety, the best beverage of choice is always pure water. There's always bottled water in every single gas station across America. But if for some reason you are feeling a little twitch in the legs, maybe a little Gatorade wouldn't hurt. And even some gas stations like Flying J and Buc-ee's, they have bananas. So bananas and water is always the best option when trying to rehydrate yourself and also provide a little first aid to your legs. Make sure you don't cramp up. The rubber and tar tracks on this road reminded me of something. If your roads have not seen any kind of rain for a week or so, or maybe longer, or Lord forbid a month, then oil and tar could build up on the road. So as always, tread cautiously. You do not want to slip up or skid out. You certainly do not want that. And also be on the lookout for any kind of other hazards that might trip you up or make you slip up, like any spare water or any kind of spilled chemical or spilled water or anything like that on the highway can also be hazardous. So that's why you always keep an eye on the road. Just another reminder, and I know this is pretty much common sense for everyone, but if you know you're going to be driving into the sun, or on a sunny day for that matter, make sure you have some form of eye protection. You know, people have sunglasses or prescription sunglasses, transitional lenses, although transitions don't work very well inside a car or inside a helmet. Fortunately, my helmet has a sun protecting visor that I can just slide down whenever I want to. So whatever it takes to protect your eyes from the glaring sun, do what you gotta do. This little ride through the woods here on this country road reminded me that everybody on the interstate highway system are trying to make great time, but a lot of people take these country roads to have a great time. And on a separate note, please tread caution on these railroad crossings. You never know if they're going to be overtly bumpy or skewed. So please, take every railroad crossing with a little less speed. know my commentary has been pretty sparse over the last few minutes, but I was just admiring this country ride again. So, if you enjoy something, just shut up and enjoy it. And now we are approaching the main event of this ride, leaving Bridge City and going to tackle one of the tallest bridges in the nation, the Rainbow Bridge. This video was made in August, and we know that later on in the fall of 2024, the Rainbow Bridge will undergo an extensive renovation process that will take a year or so. So I'm going to get as many rides over these bridges as I can because I just love riding these bridges. Now I know whenever it does happen and they close off the Rainbow Bridge, the traffic will be diverted over to the Veterans Memorial Bridge on the other side of the freeway, which can't handle it. I have seen that bridge handle two-way traffic very well. There can be 2 lanes of traffic going one way and 2 lanes of traffic going the other way. So the Veterans Memorial Bridge can handle the traffic. I do have one little request for anybody who crosses the Rainbow Bridge at any time. Please avoid lane changes, because there are some drivers who are still scared to cross the bridge, but they have to out of necessity for their life. And lane changes can only add to their fear. So stay in your lane the entire time. It is not that long. Yes, it's high. It might be a little steep, but it is not that long to cross over. Stay in your lane the entire time. That way you arrive safely and everyone can arrive safely. And even though this view of the entire Golden Triangle from the peak of this bridge is amazing, you for sure need to make sure that everyone goes up and down safely and with little stress. as I wrap up this ride, I want to inform you that this ride was taken just before the SFAPowerhouse channel hit 100,000 subscribers. It was a week or so after this ride that the milestone happened. And I will have a special video tribute for 100,000 subscribers to this channel. And for those of you who constantly watch and have subscribed, thank you so very much. I cannot say that enough. I really cannot say that enough, and I sincerely mean that. Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel, and I truly hope you enjoy all the different kinds of content I have here, whether it's motorcycle rides, airplane flights, spotting at airports, travel spots of note, and even the original music that I write. Thank you so much for subscribing, and I hope you enjoy as much content on here as possible. Thank you. Thank you all for enjoying this video. Take care, God bless, and enjoy the ride.